G'day, I'm Malcolm Roberts, lead Senate candidate for Pauline Hanson's One Nation in Queensland. In this video, I want to explain how the voting system works in the lower house of Parliament, the House of Representatives. Understanding preferences is the first step to making your vote count and having your say in governing Australia to protect Australia from the Liberal-Labor duopoly that has done so much damage. The ballot paper is shorter than that of the Senate. The most important thing to remember in voting in the lower house is that you must number all the boxes. Write 1 in the box beside the candidate who is your first choice, the person you trust to best represent you as your voice in Parliament. Then, in case your number 1 doesn't get enough votes to get up and be elected, your vote will flow automatically to your number 2. So write the number 2 in the box beside the candidate who is your second choice to represent you in Parliament. Maybe for you that's an independent or another minor party. The failed old Liberal-Labor parties have no control on where your vote goes. They can only make suggestions through their how to vote cards. And then write the number 3 in the box beside the candidate who is your third choice, and so on until you have numbered every box for minor parties that are true to Australia's values. Then, when it comes to the failed old parties, if you do not want Bill Shorten as Prime Minister and instead prefer a Liberal as Prime Minister, write next in the box beside Liberal, and after that write in the box next to Labor. In this example, that is 5 to Liberal and 6 to Labor. The choice is yours. You control your preferences, so you allocate numbers as you prefer. Or, if you prefer Bill Shorten as Prime Minister ahead of the Liberals, write 5 in the box next to Labor and write 6 in the box next to Liberal in this example. Then write a number for the crazy parties, and then Labor dummy candidates, such as those pretending to be independents or those with Get-Up's backing. Labor often runs extra dummy candidates to take your votes from other parties and then get those preferences back to Labor. When it comes to elections, no trick is too big or too dishonest for Labor. They will do anything. Put the destructive Greens last. Remember, in the end, the choice is yours on how you number the boxes to suit your preferences. They're your numbers. We suggest One Nation first as number 1, Greens last, and the rest in the order you, the voter, prefers. That's how the term arose, the order of your preference. Labor and Liberal hijacked this system and did deals, sometimes with each other to stop third parties and to continue their duopoly control, looking after themselves and their backroom power brokers. Because minor parties often get votes from voters who used to be Liberal or Labor and have become very unhappy with both failed old parties, minor parties sometimes use a split ticket how to vote suggestion card. On that how to vote card, if a voter wants to vote for a minor party yet prefers Liberal over Labor, the how to vote card's first column suggests writing the number next to Liberal ahead of Labor. The second column suggests preferring Labor ahead of Liberal. As One Nation has always said, it's up to you, the voter. We recommend vote 1 for One Nation, vote next for minor parties or true independents that are true to Australian values. Then number all remaining squares in the order you prefer. Vote for character, not promises or emotions or imaginary fears based on lies. If you do not like the suggestions we make for preferences in our how to vote cards at election time, you can mark preferences how you choose. Yet we need every voter's number 1 vote. Remember, for your vote to count, for you to have your say in Parliament, every square must have a number, and each number can only be used once. I need to raise one more point. Some people are pushing for a so-called vote of no confidence. These people are either ignorant of how to vote or are assisting the Labor-Liberal duopoly. The Australian Electoral Commission vote counters classify these votes as informal and put them straight in the bin. This trick helps Labor-Liberal because voters who are fed up with the Liberal-Labor duopoly are more likely to vote for another party. And if instead they fall for the no confidence trick, they actually don't vote for a minor party. That means Liberal-Labor are more likely to continue their duopoly. Smart voters know we all have a say in who represents us in Parliament. So have your say and make your vote count. Once the election is called and nominations close, check onenation.org.au for the candidates in your area. In the end, the counting of votes comes down to 2 parties and all preferences flow to the last two parties left in the race. In recent elections, as support for One Nation continues growing, our candidates have become one of the two-party preferred. Please help end the Labor-Liberal duopoly and give us your first preference vote so we can get the balance of power and put your voice to work for you. Voting One Nation number 1 will help protect you from the Liberal-Labor duopoly. Understanding preferences is the first step to making your vote count and having your say in governing Australia. Authorised Michael Pucci, Unit 2, 38 Hudson Road, Albion, Queensland 4010. Spoken Malcolm Roberts.